we're going to solve the following problem. It says find the area of the trapezoid. If your answer is not an integer, that means a number, 2, 3, 4, 20, 25, leave it in simplest radical form. That means we're not going to give decimals. We're going to leave the radical. So in this case, this is the trapezoid that I have. Remember that the formula of the trapezoid, of the area of the trapezoid is equals to 1/2 times the height times the addition of the bases, B1 plus B2. The problem, this base, I'm going to call this one B1. My problem is I do not have B2 and I don't have the height. I do have this, I'm going to call it hypotenuse, and that is the reason why I have a special right triangle, a 60, 30, 90 degrees, or 30, 60, 90 degrees special right triangles. And I have this one as a formula, so we can use it in other problems. Remember that this triangle is short leg is n, long leg is n times the square root of 3, and hypotenuse, which is 2 times the value of n. We have proved this one in the previous chapter in class. So what we're going to do, I'm going to split. I can see that I have a triangle here, and I'm going to create this height, which is this one. I just move it here and makes 90 degrees. So I form the 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, because this one is going to be, if this one is 90 degrees, if this one is 30, then this one is 60 degrees. So in this case, my hypotenuse, which is the opposite side of the 90 degrees, this is going to be my hypotenuse, right, is equals to 10. Now I'm going to solve this equation. See, you have 2n equals to 10. So what is the value of n? Okay, let's divide by 2. Divide by 2. So n is equals to 5. In this case, remember that the units are centimeters. Centimeters. So that means this n is 5 centimeters. This long leg between the 90 degrees and the 30 degree angle is 5 square root of 3. And those are the values of my triangle. So that means, in this case, the height of this figure is 5 centimeters. Okay? Because it's between the 60 and the 90 degrees. 60 and 90 degrees. Remember, you can move this paper. You can move the triangles to make it match your figure. So h is 5 centimeters. So that makes my base 2. Now let's be careful, because in this case, this long leg between the 30 and the 90 degrees is 5 square root of 3. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to have this one, and this is 90 degrees, and then we have this figure here, something like this one. This is 30 degrees, right? And then we split this triangle. Remember that we split this triangle, and this is 90 degrees. This is h. This segment here is 14 centimeters. And this piece here, okay, this piece here is the 5 square root of 3. So to find this base here, I'm going to do the longer segment, the whole segment given, 14, minus the long leg of my triangle, 5 square root of 3. We cannot do anything else. So I'm going to put a parenthesis here. You call it centimeters. I cannot do anything else because this one doesn't have a square root of 3. And in this case, they are not like terms. So I cannot do anything at this point. So that's the reason why the problem is telling me leave it in simplest radical form, because we're going to just proceed with what we have. So the area is equals to 1/2 times height times base 1 plus base 2. So what is the area? 1/2 times h. Remember that h, the height, is 5. And base 1 is 14 plus, this plus 14 minus 5 square root of 3. So what is this one equals to? I have 1/2 times 5, 28 minus 5 square root of 3. And remember that this area is going to be centimeters squared. Now, if I multiply 1/2 times 5, it's going to be 5/2 times 28 minus 5 square root of 3 centimeters squared. Now, let's simplify this one. If you do 28 divided by 2 is 14 times 5 is going to be 70. That one you can do it with the calculator. 5/2 times 28 is going to be 70 minus 5 times 5 is 25. So this one will be 25/2 square root of 3. And the units are centimeters squared. And this is the area of this case, this trapezoid.